Okay, I don't know if this thing's ever going to get seen, but I just went ahead and found out today that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, sir, I intend to go ahead and throw this out on your Twitter, so hopefully you'll have a chance to take a look at it. That The Rock has went ahead and endorsed Biden and Harris for president and VP, and I was wondering why. And so, in order to go ahead and have the conversation, I thought since the video I saw with The Rock in it, he had his little muscle shirt on. I thought I'd get one on too. But sadly, my muscles don't have muscles like like yours do. So I'll just. But then again, that's why you're the actor and I'm just the working schlub over here. But that gets me to my point number two, which is everybody's opinion matters, right? Whenever we're going through elections, whether we're working 9 to 5 or if we're working, on a more flex schedule, whether you're a multimillionaire doing movies or you're someone who's working, in a doing hourly rate type work at minimum wage. Everybody's opinion is important. As a matter of fact, it's often more important than some of those individuals who are actually in politics because they get too close to the animal and really can't see what the rest of us see. That could possibly be one of my concerns because I like your movies. I think they're great. I think they're fun to watch, and I find it concerning that you would back Biden and Harris, and I hope it's not just a personality type thing. I hear that a lot from individuals is that President Trump is so mean and he's like hateful and things like that. Now then, a lot of the tags, the really bad tags, I do not think are applicable. I have not seen anything in his policies that would make him come out to be racist or anything like that. So I'd like to hear on a policy standpoint in the video I saw of you making your announcement, just a general, hey, I think these, Biden and Harris would be great for the future of the country, moving forward, and that sort of thing. But there's numerous policies that I'm wondering where you think that they are better, and maybe we just differ on some of these areas. But so, like, there's the big one. Now then, I'm a staunch Christian, and so abortion is the end line for me. Any platform which the Democrats have that is pro-abortion, I just can't do. And regardless if I agreed with any of their other positions or not. Okay, that's it. That's a end all for me. But I don't know. Maybe you're a pro-choice kind of person. I'm of the opinion that I'm pro-life. I think life starts at conception. And then even if you didn't go with that, let's say like it's okay, at what point is a fetus viable? Well, there have been children who survived. I believe it's as low as 13 weeks, definitely 19 weeks. So at either one of those points, they're a living person. So anytime after that, it's murder. Pure and simple. So that's my position on abortion. I think they're on the wrong side of that. Way on the wrong side of that. Maybe you're one of these people who's looking at it and you're like, well, we need to take it as a totality of different issues. So I'm wondering, what are the driving issues that you see? Economy. Let's look at economy. Under the Trump administration, they went ahead and cut taxes. And then they cut taxes across the board. Now, Democrats want to say, oh, they cut taxes for the rich. Well, they cut taxes for middle income individuals as well. And the lower quintile, that's the bottom 20% of the population, doesn't pay taxes. They get it all back, and a lot of times, because of the earned income credit, they get back more money than they paid in. So that's not an issue as far as the poor goes. And for the middle class and also for the upper class, the tax cuts, every time we've done a tax cut in the United States, we've always had an increase in revenue. Now then, since COVID, of course, we've had a bit of a stumbling block there, but I think that's going to kick back up once we go ahead and get out of a lot of this lockdown and stuff like that. So here you are, economy-wise, we cut taxes and increase revenue. Everybody's got a little extra spending money in their pockets. We'll get to move forward. I don't see the negative there. The first thing that the Biden-Harris group want to do if they get in charge is revoke those tax cuts. So all of a sudden, that's raising taxes. That's an immediate raise in taxes on all of us who are paying. Now then, rich individuals, and I don't know if you use accountants or not, but a lot of rich individuals go ahead and play shell games with their accountants, right? They move their money into certain protected categories, so on and so forth. Now then, a lot of times, it's more trouble than it's worth if the tax rate's low, and that's one reason why our income, our revenue as a nation goes up whenever we go ahead and lower taxes, because they don't have to jump through a big bunch of hoops to hide their money. It's just easier just to pay it. Now then, maybe so maybe you do those, maybe you don't. But if you go ahead and raise the taxes, particularly if you raise it too much, again, they're going to be like, well, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm gonna hide my money again. And all of a sudden, they start playing shell games, and revenue's going to drop, and or it's going to stagnate. Probably not drop. It's probably going to stagnate. But the burden, again, is going to fall more solidly on the middle class. That's where I'm at. So, you're talking about they're going to raise my taxes. They're going to make it give me less money per month, per year to go ahead and use and spend the way that I feel like they ought to. So I don't see it as a win on the economy. Let's look at what's another. Now I'm shooting from the hips here, so I'm just kind of pulling them off the top of my head. How about Second Amendment? They want to run roughshod over the Second Amendment. So, Mr. Johnson, are you an anti-gun kind of guy? Do you think we don't have the right to own a weapon for our own protection and for the ability to go hunt? And note, any sort of weapon can be used to kill people. I saw an article stating that in 2019, I believe it was more people were killed by hands and feet last year in 2019 than were actually killed by rifles. So, it's not the rifles or the pistols that are killing people. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. They just choose different methods depending on what's on hand. And it can be absolutely devastating, regardless of what kind of weapon they use. So, we have Second Amendment rights allowing us to go ahead and use and bear arms. And the Democrat Party, the platform, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris are totally against it, right? We're going to come for your guns. Just like Beto O'Rourke, he's on board with him. Hey, I'm going to put him in charge and let him come for all your guns. So I'm asking why? Why does that have to be taken away? Most of these people who are doing like some of these mass shootings, they were either criminals beforehand or they're stark raving mad. So, and should have been arrested long before they ever did any of the shooting that they did. But because of other policies that are in place, they were allowed to go ahead and hang out. Most of them acquired their weapons, not all, but most of them acquired their weapons illegally, and then they went off and shot a big bunch of people. And even in the big scheme of things, violent crimes with both guns and various other means is generally down. Pardon me. So I just don't see giving up our Second Amendment rights. That's one of the things they want to do. Maybe it's energy. Are you a green energy kind of guy? And if so, do you think the Green New Deal is good? Let's look. What's actually raised all of our economies in the West and the East and pretty much everywhere that has given us the power to do what we need to do are fossil fuels. That's coal, oil, and in some places we're using natural gas. But these natural resources are there, so why not use them? They're easily accessible. We haven't, burning as much as we have, we still haven't even tapped it out. We haven't even gotten close. There's plenty of oil, plenty of coal, and natural gas to go ahead and continue fueling things so that we have solid growth, we have solid infrastructure that can actually provide power. One of your biggest places for going green is California, but when you look at their power situation, it's horrendous. They're trying to go ahead and get rid of all their standard coal and fossil fuel-based power plants. How's that working out for them? Well, they're one of two states, really, that suffers regular blackouts and brownouts. Why is that? It's because they don't have enough power to meet the requirements of their people. If they would go ahead and utilize some, more power plants and actually take advantage of that, then they could go ahead and provide that power. Why is that necessary? Well, so many people, power provides all sorts of things, right? So lovely little electricity that helps us keep some of the various medicines that we go ahead and spoil. It provides us the ability to go ahead and cool down houses so that people don't die from extreme heat during the summers, and that gets us into global warming. Are you a global warming person, Mr. Johnson? Do you think we're going to go ahead and mankind is superheating the Earth? Now then, if you go ahead and listen to the climate wackos, and most of the Democrat Party on that Green New Deal side, I'm sorry, but they are climate wackos, right? So most of those climate wackos seem to think that it's man-made global warming. And what was it? What was the latest that was put out by Ocasio-Cortez? It was 12 years, I think, until we're all going to die. Well, they've been saying that since the 70s, and it hasn't happened yet. As a matter of fact, they keep on changing their tune. Oh, we're going into another ice age. Oh, no, wait, we're getting too hot. Now then, is it getting warm? I think the consensus is yes, it is getting warm, although it seems to be plateauing somewhat. But it's not getting as warm as fast as they said it was going to. It is not, and as far as we can tell, or I say we, it is not a majority of scientists who think it is man-made global warming. It is hand-picked individuals that the Democrat Party and various climatologists who want to sound the bell have chosen. There are thousands, and I say again, thousands of scientists and from all walks of life who agree it is not man-made global warming. It is a natural phenomenon that's going on. So, is it necessarily bad? Well, actually, when you go ahead and look at some of the NASA pictures, no. The Earth is regreening itself. So, that makes growing crops better. That actually would help our oxygen processing out carbon dioxide, thanks to all of our greenery. So, but it does mean it's warmer for individuals, for people. And if you're in certain areas where it gets really hot, it would be nice to have some of that coal-powered air conditioning so that you don't have to burn up outside or burn up in your house. So, again, the Green New Deal wants to go ahead and eliminate all your fossil fuels without even looking at the impacts on the economy. They want to go ahead and implement fully renewable energy sources. Well, what's a renewable energy source anyway? Solar and wind. Okay, now the solar and wind are going to keep on coming, but the items that we use to draw that power down are not renewable. As a matter of fact, some of them are as toxic, if not more toxic, than your oil and coal burning facilities, right? Particularly when you get into the solar cells. Then when you go ahead and look at the large wind turbines, there's a question of what do you do when the thing breaks down? They're huge, and they don't have a good a means of disposal for these things. They can chop them up into pieces, but still, all that's going to do is go into a landfill. And while they're running, they're an absolute hazard, both solar and the windmills. They're a danger to birds. So, not a good deal. And the Green Deal isn't. They have to clear-cut land in order to put down solar, in order to put down their windmills. Everything, any sort of animal that gets caught up in it, whether it's the reflection off of a solar farm or if it's the turbines of the windmills, those animals are getting whacked. So, Green New Deal, not green. It's not conducive to advancement of human health because, there's not going to be enough power for us to do what we need to do to keep everybody safe. That's one of the great reasons that we've been able to go ahead and lift up so many people all around the world is because of cheap, affordable energy. So, what is that? That's maybe Second Amendment. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe it's the Green New Deal. How about foreign affairs? Oh, President Trump's being too hard on everybody. Is he? How about, did we ever hear this thing called peace through strength? President Trump has shown that he's willing to go ahead and stand up, unlike the past administration, which Joe Biden was a part of. And he was even more hesitant to do things than President Obama was. And so, when you have somebody who's willing to put down a red line and say, don't cross the red line, and then when they cross it, they're like Yosemite Sam, and they draw a new line and go, well, don't cross this line. And I'm sorry, it's Bugs Bunny to Yosemite Sam, right? So, what are you going to do with these guys? Joe Biden's going to probably go out there, lay down a couple of these red lines. Maybe he's going to go ask for Iran. He's going to go apologize to Iran and ask them to please forgive us and maybe give them some more money. Is that going to help anything? I don't think so. Okay, President Trump is unapologetic in trying to get the best for the United States, and that's what our national leaders are supposed to do for us. Okay, President Obama was an apologist, and very much like Neville Chamberlain. For anybody out there who doesn't know Neville Chamberlain, right? He was the World War II leader at England. He ran over to talk with Hitler after Hitler went ahead and invaded Poland, and he came back and said, "Oh, peace in our times." He just wanted to go ahead and take that piece of Poland because they had a big bunch of Germans in there, and it was actually German property anyway. It's all good. I wonder if President Obama did anything like that. Oh yeah, how about Crimea? Exactly. And so lets the Russians run in, take Crimea. And, there were some Russians over there, so what are we going to do? Okay, so a president needs to go ahead and defend the national interest. A Biden-Harris ticket is not going to defend the national interest. They're going to become apologists for supposed bad things that the United States did, which is a bunch of, well, I won't go there. That'd be rude. And so they're going to be apologists. They're going to try to appease everybody, and you can't appease a bully. You know this. I'm sure you know this from school, right? You were, and you probably didn't put up with bullies. You just don't strike me as the kind of person who would. And it's the exact same thing on the national stage. You can't let bullies push you around, and that's exactly what a Biden-Harris ticket would do. So foreign affairs can't be something that you would want them in on. You'd be like, oh, well, President Trump's been really mean to our allies. Well, has he really? All he's doing is, it's very much like you played football. I played football. We had various other individuals who've played various sports. And if some of the team members aren't pulling their weight, at some point you got to jerk a knot in their tail. And that's all President Trump did. He went over to NATO. He jerked a knot in their tail. Said, hey, guys, you're not pulling your weight. You need to pull your weight. Now, on some of the trade deals, we had some of the same stuff kind of going on. We had like some backward trade deals where it was hooking up the European side more than the American side. I don't know, maybe that came out of after the World War II in order to try to hook up some of their economies because they were off to a slow start. But of course, it's way past time for anything like that, and everything needs to be fair and balanced. And once again, our national leaders should be fighting for our interests. That doesn't always mean that they'll get it, but that should be their starting point. That's what President Trump's doing. That's not what a Biden-Harris administration would do. Once again, they would apologize, they would wheedle, they'd fall back, they would appease, and when you do that, you end up causing trouble overall. Now, and I'm sure there's numerous other things that could be out there that could be affecting your desire to vote one way or the other. But I hope it's not personality. I hope it's policy. And I would love to hear what policies you think the Trump administration has put into place that you can't back, where you think the Harris-Biden policies would be better. Because all those I just named, I don't think anybody in their right mind can actually have a valid debate with me or anybody else on how the Biden-Harris ticket would be stronger in any of those areas that I just named. But I thank you very much. I don't even know if anybody's going to watch this thing. I hope you do. And if anybody else wants to reply, just remember, let's go ahead and follow the lead of The Rock there. Get your little muscle shirt on. I know mine's pretty sad. I don't have, my muscles don't have muscles like yours do. So, it is what it is. But throw on your muscle shirt, get some comments out there, and maybe we can have some fun with this and have a good debate at the same time. Thanks, and have a good one.